Tua and the Elephant, written by R.P.Harris. Chapter 4. The Elephant Beckons. Tua's eyes fixed on the elephant, its swaying rump and its swishing tail. The tail seemed to beckon like a wave, like a curling finger. From time to time the elephant looked around its shoulder to see if she was still following. As the streets became alleys and the alleys became paths, it grew darker and darker. Still Tua followed the switching tail. "Come," the tail beckoned. "It's only a little further." "Forward, brute!" Nark barked, as he struck the elephant's hind leg with a bamboo stick. "Give my money away, will you?" "We'll see about that. No money, no dinner." And he struck the elephant again. "I'm hungry," said Nang. "What's for dinner?" "You're drinking it," answered Nak, and he passed a bottle behind the elephant's rump. Nang drained the contents and tossed the bottle back over his shoulder. It exploded with a crash near Tua's feet. "What was that?" Nang spun around, squinted his eyes, and cocked his ears. "Just the bottle." Nang shrugged. It was empty. "Not that, you buckethead. Back there." He pointed to the banana tree that Tua had ducked behind. "I don't see anything." As Nang peered into the darkness, the elephant lurched forward and jerked him by the chain. "Whoa there, you!" He stumbled backward. "Where do you think you're going?" He struck the elephant another blow and followed after. The elephant seemed to take no notice of these beatings. Its only concern was whether Tua was still following. They came at last to a beach beside the river Ping, where the mahouts had made their camp. Nak attached the end of the chain to a stake in the ground, while Nang built a fire. As the fire burst into flames on the shore, its reflection did the same on the river. Tua threw herself behind a log to hide from the sudden blaze of light, trapped until the flames died down and the mahouts retired to their tent. Tua curled up behind the log, closed her eyes, and promptly fell asleep. A chill woke Tua as if a cold, wet hand had reached out and shaken her awake. How long had she been asleep? She slowly raised her head and peeked over the top of the log. The fire had burned down to glowing embers, and the mahouts were nowhere to be seen. The elephant stood at the end of its chain, with its shackled foot extended to the air behind it, as if it were trying to pull the stake out of the ground. "Hello, Chang," Tua whispered. She was about to ask if she could help, when she read the words in its eyes. "There you are. What have you been doing?" "ขอโทษ ค่ะ I'm sorry, Chang," she whispered. "I'm coming." Tua rose up, crept over to the tent, peeled back the flaps, and looked inside. Both mahouts were fast asleep and snoring beside two empty bottles. A large pile of dung sat on the ground outside the tent flaps, like a trap. Tua looked back over her shoulder at the elephant. "Don't look at me," the elephant's eyes seemed to say to her. "Now get this chain off my foot so we can get out of here." "Ka, Chang," she whispered. "Don't worry, I'm coming." And that is how Tua found herself on the streets of Chiang Mai in the company of a fugitive elephant.